Hi everyone. So today I wanted to do another FAQ, and today we're going to talk about filtering. Now first, what is filtering? When you're talking about filtering to an iridologist or a naturopath, generally speaking, you are talking about kidneys filtering out toxins out of your body. The way you see filtering is when the toxins are getting filtered out, they go through the kidneys, then they go down through to the bladder, and then out with urine. So when you are urinating, you have to collect it in a cup. I know it sounds kind of gross, but it's what it is. Okay, collect it in a cup, and actually not a cup, but like a glass, like a clear jar, and take a look at what you see. If your kidneys are filtering, they're filtering something, right? Logical. If they're filtering not well, they're gonna filter very little, right? Logical as well. So, what you should see is you should see particles in your urine. There should be like what looks like kind of like speckles and little strands of something or other, or like little, like almost like a sand type of thing. It shouldn't be heavy sitting on the bottom, but there should be stuff going, especially because, as you're holding the cup, you're kind of bouncing the water around a little bit as you're moving it in your hand. You should see it kind of swirl around in the cup, kind of like a snow globe effect, and that's what they're always saying. Like you'll see a snowball effect when you urinate, when you filter well. Like when I say snowball, I'm talking about those like toys or whatever they call that they have where it's a glass and then it looks like there's snow inside when you shake it. It should be the same kind of idea. So basically, you should see something right away. When I started on this diet, I did not see pretty much anything. Now I see stuff all the time. Ideally, according to the theory, you're supposed to put it in the fridge and then see the results, a few hours later. I don't do that because I find it gross to put urine in the fridge. That's a step above for me, personally. You can if you want to, it's really up to you. But either way, you should see nothing. It's not going to go from completely nothing to a lot of something in the fridge. You will see something at least a little bit and see if you can improve on what you're seeing right when you go to the washroom, right away. And it's honestly, I mean, if you're seeing nothing right after you urinate, holding out hope that, a few hours later you might see like a few specks of something. I mean, it's not much. So you can already make, because the reason why you're doing this is to make a conclusion on how well you're filtering, and you can make a conclusion pretty much right away. Now, there's a few exceptions to that. If you have been, guzzling water all day long and have had very little food, or for a few days you've had very little food, your filtering might slow down because there's nothing to filter. If you're drinking pure water, or as pure as we can get nowadays, and you're not really consuming anything, it can only filter old stuff, so it will be, by definition less because of that. So kind of take into account what you ate and what you've been drinking the day to see, um, and also yeah, just things like that take into account, like lifestyle, all of this kind of stuff, just to make sure you're getting you know um, unbiased result. Okay. So that goes about the filtering and what it is. If your urine is clear right now, if you check it and it's clear, I know that it can be frustrating. It was frustrating for me personally because I was, when I started, I was working hard and I'm like, oh my God, there's almost nothing here. It's so bad, like it's all staying in me. Um, and, it does improve. And the only way to really improve it is to, eat raw. I mean, you can take herbs, but I don't know, like in my personal experience, herbs only help a little bit when it comes to the filtering. The rest has to be done with the actual diet. Because, I mean, okay, put it this way. If you take herbs but eat poorly, like below, say, 70% raw, 60, 70, below 60% raw, you're not helping the situation. Actually, below 70, because even at 60% raw, that means 40% of what you're consuming is cooked foods, which has a lot of things to filter out. Because it's when you're saying cooked foods, there's also a difference here too, that it can be a cooked food, but say it's just a baked potato, like there's no additional stuff, there's no different types of foods and that need different types of enzymes and all of this kind of stuff. It's very simplistic. That's not so bad. But if you're eating a casserole or something like that, then that's a whole different story. Right, a lot of things to filter out. If it's pre-made and frozen and all of that, even worse. So you really kind of have to make sure that you are with just the foods that you're eating, you're removing more toxins than you're bringing in. It's very, very important, because that way you're making sure that um, that it works, that you're clearing up your kidneys, that you're helping your kidneys filter, because your kidneys are all covered in gunk, they're not filtering well, they're covered, with all this mucus and all of this lymph and all of this stuff, whatever you want to call it, right? That they're not filtering properly for a reason. So you have to help them. Okay, so if you just do this and just go to a good diet, you will start to filter at some point. Now, if you stick with a bad diet and just take herbs, uh, in my personal experience, maybe people will disagree, but in my personal experience, you won't see much of a difference. Because herbs are not going to help you push out the casserole through your kidneys every day, or whatever, different things, but similar in complexity every day, every meal, you know? So it does start with a raw food diet, or as raw as you can possibly get. When you get to like 80-90%, then, who cares, really, but you do have to try to get above 70% raw. I would, recommend. And another way that you can see if your kidneys are filtering or not is that you will see that your skin is becoming clearer, because your skin is what they call the third kidney. So if your skin is having problems, that means the kidneys are stressed and they're not filtering well. Because if the kidneys are filtering well, they don't need to send it to the skin, and it's not going to come out through the skin, all of the toxins. They can come out through the kidneys. So that's how you'll be able to immediately tell that your eating has improved. But honestly, if you're worried about it, if you feel like I should be filtering but I'm not, reevaluate your diet. See, I find it really helps if you write down all of the foods that, for example, okay, take the last day or last 2 days and write down all of your cooked foods. Don't bother with raw. Raw is raw, it's good, fine, don't worry about it. It's very good, actually. So, but to the cooked foods. And then take a look and assess what out of this can you take away to make it more of a higher percentage raw and replace it with a raw food. Because some things you can easily take away, such as breakfast you can replace, lunch to a point you can replace as well, to like a giant salad and some fruit. And maybe if you were having, say, more cooked food at lunch, have just a slight bit of cooked food, such as like baked potato on the side, and replace whatever else you were eating with a giant salad. And start to get away from things such as breads, meats, cheeses. All of this stuff is really toxifying, and especially toxifying on the kidneys, because they have to process all this stuff. So I would kind of follow that. And I mean, I'm filtering now, and I wasn't filtering before. So, and I probably would see more. I am gonna link below the chart so you could see what it should look like. But this chart, it's very important for you guys to know that this chart shows what it should look like only once you put it in the fridge. So after you take it out of the fridge, this is what it's gonna look like. So just after you urinate, it's not gonna look like that. So don't worry about it if it doesn't. But you should see some flakes right after you urinate, so you don't have to, I don't know. I find that, honestly, putting in the fridge is kind of gross, like right next to food. I don't know, that's too much for me. But if you don't see anything, don't even hold out hope. Just about like freezing, or not freezing it, but putting it in the fridge and waiting and all of that. Just keep working at it. Keep working at it. For me, it took about probably about 2 months to see filtering. And keep in mind that most of my life I was on a really, really bad diet, like almost no fruits, almost no vegetables, everything pretty much cooked, lots of meat. And I'm very embarrassed to admit it now, but honestly, as a kid, I didn't know, and as a teenager, I couldn't care less. So, as I'm getting older, and I start to care about, and start to realize how important the food is, it starts to change. And I'm so happy about all of these younger people emailing me and, asking me about this stuff, because honestly, like, if you can pick up your health when you're still young, and not go down the route of, eating bad foods as a teenager, you will see huge improvements I mean, it's not even improvements, you're just keeping up that initial health rather than, doing all the teenage, bad eating and then trying to get back from that when you already have acne, when you have, blocked everything, right? So it's, it's really cool and it's really inspiring. And guys, I thank you so much for the questions. If you guys have more questions, please let me know. And oh, and also I just wanted to say about the herbs and the raw food. So yeah, so the herbs alone won't won't help you if you're not eating, significantly more than 50% raw. Um, but if you want to combine the two, that is the best way. Just make sure that you realize, because I didn't really realize when I was ordering the herbs. I thought it was like, well, I'll just go through one bottle and it'll be that would be it. And it's really not true. You have to go through a few bottles to see a difference of the herbs, so it can become expensive. Um, so if you're doing it, prepare for the long haul, even with the herbs. I did it, and honestly, like I had a bottle, a few bottles from Dr. Moore's, one of each though. So I had like one kidney formula, one adrenal formula, and then one lymphatic formula. Um, and I mean, I saw some results, but I don't know if I would, because I was eating so well that I don't know if I would have not seen it had I not taken the herbs. Like I think, I mean, you know what I'm saying, that I probably would have seen the results either way, to be honest with you. So it's up to you. If you do have the money, you don't mind spending it, then, I'd say go for it. So, but the diet is the primary. So, and you can't look at it as a diet alone. It is a lifestyle change. And I'm telling you, your skin's going to look better. If you have acne, that's going to go away. I mean, it's all going to improve. But just keep in mind, like I told you guys in the other videos, that before it gets better, it's going to get worse. Because as soon as your skin feels that you are trying to get all of this stuff out, or your body feels that, it's going to, like, once you start to eat more fruits and all of the detoxifying stuff. And the most detoxifying are fruits, berries, and melons. So watermelon is great. Berries is kind of expensive to eat in large amounts, so I would stick with watermelons. Apples are really good. Green drinks are good too, in moderation. So stick with that. But if your skin gets worse, my skin got really bad as soon as I went on this diet. And that's because all of the stuff that was built up under the skin came out almost at once, and I got enormous acne. Acne like I've never had before, okay? I've had acne all my life, well, not all my life, but like, from teenage onwards, and it got extremely, extremely bad. But now it probably lasted about 2 months, where it would be really bad, then get better, then get really bad again, but not as bad as the first time, then get better, then get bad, but not as bad as the previous time, and like that, like in like steps, it would improve and then lighten up and then do it again, like that kind of a cycle. But that's just, the skin just like purging all of this stuff from the inside. And once it's done, I don't even have acne at all anymore. And my skin is healed and my pores are smaller. So I'm telling you, if you don't want to do it for the health, do it for the beauty aspect, because it really does work. So, and that way you can tell that your kidneys are doing more of their job, because it doesn't have to send it to the skin. So guys, thank you for asking questions, and please keep them coming. You can you can ask them through Instagram, through email, or just below one of these videos, one of the FAQ videos. Just kind of label them for the FAQ, so I know it's okay. I don't want to step on any toes, or answer something that is supposed to be kind of private. So just let me know that it's okay, and then I'm gonna answer it in the next FAQ. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.